Welcome to the Eskimo experience. Battery level 120%, firing mode, frosty.
Dr. Jones checking in for the Eski couch. I've got brother Connor with me. Brother Timmy's checked in as well. We are down Kaiser. He's got a job at Chemist Warehouse because the gym's closed. He's guarding the condoms from 14 and 15-year-olds. Like, what's the go there?
Booby tape, mate. He's
tape.
making sure the booby tape is locked down.
Yep.
It's nice to know that is in a safe place. Appreciate your service, Kai.
He is doing an essential job.
Essential. That's it. Yeah. We did have the week off last week. We are back with a vengeance this week with a bit of good news. We have got a legitimate show sponsor. So now we've got PB Athlete as well as the guys at Mind Band have jumped on. They've heard the call out for the mental health side of things that we love and we preach about. So the guys at Mind Band have jumped on board. And they are doing a little promo. I'll just jump in here and I'll give you all the details. So Mindband, with the code, so the code is Nathan137. I'll put in the show notes, okay? For those of you that are on Spotify, I highly recommend you jump on YouTube and check this thing out. And we'll just go through it quickly. I've got to pop these ones off, so don't talk, I can't hear you. We'll rip the hat off, rip the glasses off. So the Mindband is Bluetooth speakers. That will go on your melon like this. Now, I haven't had a haircut for 11 weeks because there's no hairdressers open, but they do sit on there, Bluetooth speakers. We do use them for meditation, which is a big thing. When I go to bed at night, generally I listen to something every night, which is usually on the Calm app, my nightly meditation. But the Mindband, you don't wake up with your earphones sticking in your ears, which is magic. Also, the joys of it, it is also a blindfold. So, Timmy, you made a pretty valid point with that.
Yeah, I would love me one of those for the plane.
Yeah. So,
God, yeah.
It is pretty cool. The guys at Mindband are looking after us. So, there will be the web address. They are Bluetooth rechargeable speakers. The guys there are really good with their customer service. We had a hiccup with the delivery of our one where the guy from whichever delivery company, it wasn't DHL like Connie uses, but the guy from the delivery company goes, "Where's your house?" Because we're in a new development. And I sent him a picture of the front of the house and everything. And he marked it as, he sent back, "I can't find it, mate. It'll be at the depot." And then he marked it as delivered and I couldn't get it. So I sent
wonderful.
Yeah. So I sent an email to the guys and they said, we'll send you another one out. No issues. So they sent another one out free of charge, which was really nice. So customer service is amazing. The product's good. We've been using this one for a little over a month now. And the missus uses it a lot more than I do. And she does love it. And yeah, so get your mental health game, up it with one of these so you can listen to a nightly meditation, or if you listen to sleep hypnosis, that sort of stuff as well. Really good bit of gear, highly recommend. All the details will be in the show notes, so jump on that and check it out. So then,
that's awesome.
It is good. So
I will be getting myself one. I'd be keen to check that one out.
It's a good bit of gear.
Yep.
Very impressive. Now we'll get on to important stuff like paintball. But yeah, with lockdown, guys, like we're 11 weeks deep. Look after your mental health and just get present, do a bit of meditation and get your head right. Something I believe in strongly. And it helped me through some pretty tough times, the old meditation. Now, Timmy, you guys played this layout.
Yeah, we did.
For your event a couple of weeks ago now.
Yeah, so European paintball is back, at least at a major level. So yeah, this weekend in Chantilly, easily one of the best places I've ever played paintball in my life. Background
so
is
good there, amazing. Right? Yeah,
it's in the middle of like the Hippodrome it's the race course. So Hippodrome's race course basically. Yep. You've got the Royal Stables off in the background. There's a palace just down the road. Chantilly itself is a beautiful town. The grass is very lush. looks better than what it is, but it's still fantastic to play on. It's just an awesome venue. Like it's one of those great iconic places to play paintball in the world. I'd never having the opportunity to play Huntington Beach, but I'd definitely put it up there in terms of just the location. But yeah, it's really cool to see that they're back, and this field is so much fun.
It always looks cool, like the old videos of like Millennium at Chantilly and stuff. Like it's just always looked mint, you know. So yeah, and this layout, like I envied you guys playing on it for your event. It does just look super fun. Looks like the aggression would be rewarded. That Snakeside's got so many big bunkers. So
this was so, like, if I played mainly through the center and the Snakeside, and yeah, as soon as someone came off you, you could just, it was all about just movement, get up, don't be over aggressive, but be aggressive. So I was generally shooting off the Dorito side. I was flipping around, gave out a lot of nice massages to guys that were stupid enough to try and run down my players. It was a good old time. But yeah, it's do we know if there's a webcast going for this? I know there's no Go Sports, but do we know if they're going to throw something up on Facebook?
I dare say there will be. I haven't heard 100%. Obviously not being there to see it. However, they'd be crazy not to have something, you know. Like,
this would just be cool to say, because there's going to be a few teams quite a few teams actually, that no one would have seen here in Australia. There's a couple we've actually played against when we played semi-pro over there. It's really cool to see them get that opportunity to play pro.
It's a lot of new teams in the pro for over there.
They've had to make up the numbers for I don't believe the Russians are playing it at all. I know Joy are.
No, so Joy Division, Breakout Spa. No, Joy Division, Breakout Spa, Cologne Hurricanes, Carnage, Outbreak, PP Arena, is that one? 5-Star Lolita, Outrage, Ranger, Tuntons, Droogs, First Factory, Lods, London Attrition, Section, and who's another one?
I think there's two
Section
Carnage teams.
Anarchy.
Paris
Camp Carnage too.
Paris Camp Carnage are a bit of a factory. Teams.
I also saw that Droogs was only taking like 1 or 2 teams compared to what they usually take, and they were saying something about paint prices for the event.
Yeah, I've heard entry. Not so much entry, but paint prices are up quite a bit. But
do you want to know?
I don't know what they are.
I love this. So to play the event, right, you got to have a COVID test within 48 hours, right, with a negative result, or a full COVID vaccination certificate, or a COVID test showing a positive COVID result taken between 11 and 6 months earlier. Right? So you got to have that. So you've either got to have had antibodies in it. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you show up at the field and you haven't got one of those things, antigen test is €30 and a PCR test is €50.
Yeah, shit.
So make sure you get your test before you get.
Shit.
If you're a French citizen, it's free, but for everyone else, 30 or 50.
That'll be part. I think you'll find that'll be a big part of their own sort of, not the NXL, but the French. It'll be part of their own testing regime. I know they're having as much fun as we are with Delta, the Delta variant.
Everyone's having fun. It's great.
Yep.
So I'm having
so
great
much
time.
fun. Yeah. I was.
Hey, I've been to 2 comedy shows this week. I'm going to another one tomorrow night. So yeah, I'm in a good way.
So what's your surprise one? Who was the surprise one you went to the other night?
Last night, we officially we were asked not to say anything, but unofficially I saw Bruno on stage live, and I was about 2 meters away from him.
Yeah, nice.
So he came out as Bruno.
Yeah, true.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, so Sacha Baron Cohen was there. That was really cool. It was pretty dope. So they've done these secret shows over here. We've got it's called the Comedy Lounge. It's just a stand-up comedy joint over here. And I know they've done these sort of secret warm-up shows for a few people in the past that I haven't had a chance to get to, but like Jim Jeffries has done it. Chris Rock has been at it. Arj Barker, a few of the bigger names that have come through Perth. Jimmy Jeffries being a WA boy as well. But yeah, it was kind of an educated guess that it might have been Baron Cohen, given I knew he was over in WA at the moment. And it was enjoyable night. There were a few good local acts. Rove McManus hosting it as well, and
very cool. Very cool.
And rumor has it he's doing the amateur gong show tomorrow night, which is why I'm going again.
You're getting all in, aren't you?
Why not? Seriously, like, to anyone in Perth, like, I know there's not a huge amount of Perth listeners to this. Change that. The Comedy Lounge is worth checking out. It's cheap. Like, last night was $35 a ticket. Tomorrow night's like $20 a ticket. And now it gets as cheap as $10 a ticket.
Yeah, nice.
Wow, cool.
Can't beat it.
No.
Yeah.
Especially when we can't go to paintball and laugh at our mates. You got to go and
get your laugh somewhere else.
Cheaper than a box of paint, and you're laughing, literally.
Yeah. So, it's been a nice change of pace.
Yeah. Very cool. So back to this Dorito side, nice and easy. Nice little round turn, snap, wrap, run, as you'd say, Timmy.
Yeah. This field was really, you had options everywhere. It was really cool like that. It wasn't just the snake was so dominant you had to shut it down. Like, you had to address every part of the field.
Yep.
You could get up that little Dorito 2 became a little bit poxy partway through, but then there's a few guys that used it to their advantage. The back center, as usual, end up being dog turd after a brief amount of time. It was great off the break briefly. There's a lot of blocked out shots for your early runs to get wide.
Yep.
So it made for a really nice engaging field. So you were engaged in heads up battles. There was some really good cross the field shots. So there was reward for getting to those wide spots. And then same for taking those risks going up through the center. There was rewards both defensively and offensively.
Yeah.
No, I got a couple of sneaky run throughs coming through the center. But yeah, it was just a plain fun field. Like, I would happily go play another event or three on that field.
Yeah, it does look like it looks super fun. I do like that, that it is solid, and I like the big bunkers over on the Snakeside, down the tape side. I think that's really cool. And I do like that there's the big temples the other side of the 50s as well. Like, I dig that.
The snake was defensible too. Like, even though it was so big, you got stuck in either heads up gun battles down the side, snake to snake, or the big tower on the snake side was very good for basically at least having an idea of where they were and controlling it, and and at least being able to let your players know what's going on. At least that's what we were using to defend defensively on it, or we were using Beast God, sort of the temples on the insert on the snake side, as just holding people from even getting in there.
Were more people, like, my guess is more people played the stand-ups down the snake side. There wouldn't have been too many on their bellies down there. Was that the case, or did more people play on their bellies?
No, you had a little bit of both, but more you would wrap. You'd get, and if you could get the wire, you would wrap and use the big bunkers to their advantage and block out the shots coming back in at you. There were a couple of guys that made some really good, like, sneaky moves on their bellies up through, but then they would still get into that big bunker because it afforded you that thing to be able to get you back into it, and then check off across the field and get those shots across the field.
100%.
I know little Damien was straight up into, I think there was one match he overextended. Like, he did really well. Like, he got straight up there. It was a snake 2. Like,
nice.
Which is great. But he overextended and thought he shot a few extra people that he hadn't quite shot yet, and had an early kill call, and Faz come running up to give him some support, and then just gets blasted, and we're like, what the? Thankfully, the other boys picked up that one and sorted that one out. But it was, there was reward for getting up there. You just needed to make sure you were shooting people that you thought you shot.
Yeah, definitely.
Love you, Damo.
We all do.
He may or may not have copped a bit of shit from me.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Could you
Rude
use
not to.
Jonesy's never heard me say I had words with Damien at all about shit that he should have shot.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Never.
It's all. But the plus side is it is all love. It is all love.
Yes. Yeah. No. It was, as I say, just as a general field though, it was just fun.
Yeah.
Like you have options everywhere. It didn't favor any one style. It's not something you would want to be overly defensive on. But you could be defensive when you needed to. You just need to take a bit of real estate to do that.
And it does look that way, that you could play it either way. Super aggressive, as long as everyone was aggressive across the board, would have to be the big thing. You know, and that'd be the big push. But it
was a good teamwork field. It really was a good teamwork field. It wasn't one for one player to blow open and then everyone else go pick up the crumbs. It was like you had to put things together before you could go.
What would be your prediction for like how you played it versus how you think like the European like will play? Because you played over there, like was your play style different? Like hugely?
No, we stayed pretty aggressive as they were. So they do run 4 pods and a hopper, which realistically is how we play back at home anyway. The team, I dare say this will get played pretty aggressively. I think the European teams in general are more aggressive, like just as a style. They're not as polished as some of the American teams, but then this would be, that's why I was interested to see if there's a webcast, because this would be really interesting to watch, because one, there's obviously new teams into the division. There's a few that are stepping up from lower ranks, but there's a lot of these guys that are coming off not a great deal of paintball. I'm sure they've been training their asses off since this has popped out. But in terms of the restrictions, like I don't know who's been able to train, who hasn't. There's been big lineup changes, given there's no Americans filtering through these teams.
That's another thing that'll play into it, I think, that it is just going to be
true European.
Yeah, 100%.
Which I'm actually really looking forward to. Like, I'm looking forward to the fact that you haven't got like the impacts over there. I think it'll be cool to just see how the Europeans like do.
I can see it going one of two ways. It's either going to be nice and close, or the Tauntauns or Joy are just going to wipe the floor with everyone, and more so the Tauntauns. Breakout are a very, very good team. PP Arena are a very good team. I think the European teams that don't generally rely upon an import, like your Tauntauns, your Joy divisions. PP Arena are actually in that. Sorry, I shouldn't take that away from them. They generally played off their own back.
And they do go all right.
I would hazard a guess that they're going to be the stronger of the teams.
Yep.
But
I think one thing I think, so Tauntauns didn't play 2019 over there either. So their draw, they're in the bracket with Joy Division, Outbreak, Rangers Warsaw, and Tauntauns. So that's and they're tier 4. So
because they're unranked.
Because they're unranked, because they didn't play 2019.
I would say out of that, Joy, and then we'll go through.
I'm pretty sure in 2019 they played in the US, just not under Tauntauns and semi-pro.
Didn't they play semi-pro as Tauntauns?
Nah, they
did later in the season. They did later in the season.
Yeah. But even
because I remember Maddie saying something about blah blah blah. It's the Tauntauns.
Yeah, there was a lot of videos essentially saying they just sandbagged the hell out of semi-pro.
They couldn't
sandbag. They have to win their spot. You can't just be a European pro and then walk into the American pro division.
Yeah,
you still have to win back your spot. They had one, obviously.
Yep.
Yeah.
Back in the day, but they had to re-win one.
No, because they didn't play one event because they didn't get the spot for pro because they needed to miss an event to make sure they didn't win.
They missed that. I think there were probably other circumstances there. I don't think they were looking.
The moral of the story is they didn't play. They didn't get ranked. Well, it says the comment was TJ Danner says Axel Gauden demoted to tier 4, and he goes, because we didn't participate in 2019. So maybe their ranking in the US doesn't count in the Euro League as well. So, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But it does put them, like they're in that's it's my call is it's going to be them and Joy Division. And I think that'll be the final as well. So I would guess that. Yeah. I mean, like I said, if there's a Facebook webcast, which they have done in the past, it'll be kind of interesting to check in and see.
and watch some games because, I'd just be intrigued to see how other people have played this. Obviously, we're playing at a local Perth level, so that's no disrespect to anyone over here, but they've only played paintball over here, so it's like for the most part, it's pretty one-dimensional. Like it's the same as anything. It's like it would be the same if we took the Super Sevens Pro Division. We play this field, it would play different again. You go to Europe, it would play different again. You go to the US, it would play more similar to the European style, but it would be different again, just purely on skill level.
Yep, definitely.
So it'd just be kind of cool to see.
Yep, and it will be cool. It will be cool. Keep us in the loop on that, Timmy. You can be our man on the ground for that one.
I'll have a goosey gander and see what's around.
Yep. Cool. Astro Event video.
First event, first episode's out, and I think Yosh put out who's they've got different people editing different matches. So he actually, I'll pull that up because I've got that. Oh look, NRG CEP's up too. He says he hasn't checked anything.
Yeah, okay.
So episode 2 is now available. So episode 2, edited by Yosh, is now live. So that's NRG versus Uprising, and then LVL versus CEP. Cool. Down Fout is doing episode 3, and My Art Unique Digital Media is doing episode 4. And then they're taking feedback and suggestions from PB Nation and Facebook. Yep. So everything's still getting edited. I really I enjoyed it, like the first one. Yep. It was a bit, I made this comment on Dwayne's show the other night. I found it a bit choppy for me.
Yep.
Just overall, like it desperately needed, like if you're going to be that choppy, I think that's fine, but you need a commentator to pull it all together.
Yeah. Yep. And I guess that's probably
or another corner view of what's going on the whole field.
Yep. I think that's probably their target market is the people that play, and they're probably catering that to, hey, these guys play paintball, they know what's going on, so it's good. Whereas I think Go Sports is, they're trying to claw in the people that don't necessarily watch it as much.
Which is ironic, given that Astro doesn't cost you to watch, but Go Sports does.
Yeah,
and exactly. I actually don't mind paying for Go Sport because I enjoy I enjoy what they put out. But I mean, realistically, the whole Astro event, it was an experiment. Yep. It was an experiment in how to run an event, which I think they did quite successfully.
Yeah.
From what I've heard has been really good. And it's the same with the presentation. That was as big a deal as what the actual event itself was. So this first one is literally just done as, and this is just literally Yosh Designs has done an episode, or now 2 episodes off his own back.
Yep.
Putting them together, which, having some experience with film editing, like God, pulling something like this in post-op where you don't miss the entire match.
Oh,
it's freaking hard.
Yeah. No,
I can imagine like his timelines would be just all the way down on the screen.
Yeah.
Trying to keep track on everything.
So for those of you that don't, how to play paintball on YouTube as well. He did an event.
Did a video.
Yeah, he did a video from it as well, which was really good.
I haven't seen that one yet. I need to check that out.
Yeah, it's actually really cool.
Yeah, and it's it's using those optics barrel cam, so it's it is barrel cam. A lot of it's barrel cam footage, and he does do a couple of pieces to camera, and he has a chat to meter on there. Nice. and it was really cool. And I dig that guy. Like he does put out great content and great videos. So, which is pretty cool as well.
Quite like to see more. I'd quite like to see more of the games done. Like, have either of you guys watched the Reckoning series that was done by Dorito?
Oh yeah, gotcha.
Oh yeah.
I feel like the way that they displayed the matches on there, if they can somehow do that with Astro, that would be really cool. Like, because the way that was done was really good.
I'm obviously I haven't watched the Reckoning in years. I really enjoyed it when they came out. My favorite. Yeah. I need to go back and rewatch it.
Yeah.
But Yeah, no, I look, I think they're trialing different things, I think you'll find each episode is going to have a different look, and that Yoshi's been open about, they're going to try and implement the feedback that they're seeing online, which is cool. So if cool. If anyone watches it, you have any thoughts yourself, go read through some of the comments. If there's something that you've seen on there that you haven't seen said about, make a comment, let them know, because I think it'll be a good test bed for the future going forward, not just for anything the meter runs, but just for everyone in general, because I think that's what he was aiming to do, is just move the sport forward and trialing things and
have a different take on it, which is good.
Well, I actually just got finished listening to the Tom Cole episode of the Play the Game podcast today. So Marcel and Tyler had him on. And that was really damn good. Like, they've had Tom on before and he's spoken about his past, but this was more about event running and the NXL in general and his thoughts and some of his ideas he has going forward. And he openly said, contrary to what we'd said about they just opened up their open division just to not spite meter, but to pull teams away. He'd actually said they'd had that in the works, but he said we did a terrible job of advertising that. Like, we made the announcement a day after meter's thing because we didn't know about it, and all that shit had already been scheduled, and it was what it was. And he said the only reason he ran on an open was because New York Extreme had been bugging the crap out of him to put another event in there. And he's basically doing that to shut him up. But he said himself, like, he goes, it was really cool to see what Meter's done, some of the ideas and the freedoms that Meter has as a one-off event to trial some things that he can't do. Because if he implements anything for a single round, he has to apply that to the entire series. There's a lot of truth there. So I don't think the NXL is probably as anti the Astra thing as what it originally appeared. So that was kind of cool to see and hear his thoughts on the whole process and just some of his ideas going forward for why the prize money is what it is and all that sort of stuff. He's basically talking about size. So if anyone's interested for a really interesting listen, can highly recommend that episode. A lot less crazy banter and more. Like, I really enjoyed the Damien Ryan thing, so I didn't mean it. But
I enjoy. I was about to say I thoroughly enjoyed the Damien Ryan one.
Damien had some really good ideas, and it's funny how similar some of the ideas that Tom Cole has and has implemented, but there is scale is their biggest issue.
I think also
scale is also one of their advantages, as he pointed out.
I think the biggest thing that I noticed when listening to the one with Tom Cole was that they're not media focused. Like, they just like, he really doesn't know how to do any form of social media. And I think that's the thing.
He's an event organizer. He is a background logistics guy.
So then that falls on to who is the media person for NXL. Like, you need to have someone who does make sure that it's actually all up and doing everything to promote it.
I think that's always been like both a positive and a negative for the paintball industry. You've got certain companies that do it way better than others. These guys being number one.
HK,
They are the massive hype beast. They are what they are.
They are by a mile. Like.
But that's what those guys are. That's their personality. That's not Tom's personality. That's not what he's there to do or anything like that.
That's any business though. Like any business, you have to work for your own strengths. And he, if that's not his personality and not his go-to, then if he wants it to grow, he needs to put someone in there that can do it. Exactly.
Well, and I think that comes back less to him and more to maybe the other owners or maybe their focus on what their focus needs to be. Because I know I was a graphic designer for a long, long time. I worked in marketing and all the rest. And when I went to internal roles for other companies, not just in a graphic design house, but if I was the in-house graphic designer / marketing for a company, the lack of weight that got put on it as a role going forward would generally have your biggest impact on the quality of what came out and how on your pace of what came out. So you need someone that can give clear, hey, these are our dates. That's obviously a basic, but hey, we've got new information. We've got to get this out. And be clear about that information before your designer or your marketing person or whoever gets their hands on it and then produces something to then put to the masses. And I think you're right, kind of. That's something that they're not focused on hugely, and I think they have opportunities through their sponsored through their sponsored companies and whatnot. But it was cool to hear like there's a bigger plan for the NXL going forward.
Yeah.
But also it's cool to see that things like the Astro and that won't be beaten off the map.
No. Which will be cool.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of positive to that.
There needs to be more of that. Like it's a cool concept. Kicking your entry fee, all right, winner takes all. That's your prize money, which was cool. And you know, it was good. The little bits we've seen so far were good and exciting.
Yeah.
So
I think Jackson Fry also had a video up as well.
He's got his vlog. I've actually got that teed up. That's my evening viewing tonight.
Is it?
Oh, nice.
I haven't watched that one yet. I'm going to finish this go and finish it. Even go finish cooking dinner and go sit down and watch that. I haven't watched a lot of Jackson's vlogs, but like I started following a little bit of it through Ronnie, through his vlogs.
Well, I'd seen Ronnie talk him up a bit, but yeah, I haven't had a chance to do that as yet. However, what else do we have to touch on, boys? Oh, we can talk about the anchor.
Yeah,
we can just bring the anchor
overboard.
Anchors over, anchors away.
Yep.
So it will be sad to see Macca go into retirement. So we will just touch on the anchor. We won't touch on anything else. But it is sad to see Macca go. I've enjoyed playing with him, and I've told this story to him himself, so he knows my feelings on this. But when he reached out to come and play for the Eskimos, Jamie and I had a conversation. Jamie and I both sort of said, "Well, he's a bit of a dick, isn't he?" I
love him, but he's a dick.
He is a dick.
I love you, Mac, but man, I know. He's a lovable dick.
He is a lovable dick. And then he did come and play for us. And really embraced the Eskimo spirit, and he became the lovable dick that we know and love. So, so the takeaway from that is that I love Dick. So there you go. But
right.
Macca,
heard it here first.
Yeah, exactly. No, people have known it for years. Macca, you've had a pretty good career, mate, and congratulations for all you've achieved in paintball. It's been a pleasure from my side playing with you for the last couple of years, mate. And I've learned a lot off you, and it's just been a joy. So thanks for being an Eskimo.
It was, I'll add to that. It was one of the cool things. Mac was the one that gave me the call to come over and play with the Eskimos. Yep. Like we'd been mates on and off the field sort of thing for a while, but it was nice to be able to play with him, not against him, because he is a turd. Yeah. He knows I think he's a turd, but I love him. Look, we'll touch on the other guy later, but both announcements this week are going to have a big impact on it. I think Queensland paintball's going to suffer a little bit because of Macca, a little bit, but he's been phasing back out a bit. The big thing is, and I'll touch on this again next week, but there is opportunity out of this. Like guys, step up. Like use Macca as a great example of someone that gave his all to the sport, not just as a player, but as someone who helped develop new players. Might have taught some bad habits here and there. Realistically, Macca was great for the game.
He was,
and he is still great for the game because I don't care what you say, mate. You're coming back.
Yeah,
your boys will get old enough soon enough, and you'll be out playing. So, but it's just we won't see him at the top level again. At least not for a while. I'm sure there'll be a John Farnham comeback tour at some point. But
one of the big takeaways for Macca was it didn't matter what style of paintball. You know what I mean? Like, and that's one thing I highly recommend to anyone. Don't just pigeonhole yourself to tournament paintball. Get out and play some scenario days and just play paintball for the love of paintball.
Go and enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. And it grows when you're out there playing against punters. They get excited and you get excited too. So just play more paintball. All good. All right. Anything else you want to add, boys?
I think that's about it. I think we'll, as we've said, we'll touch on the other guy next week.
And he did say he should be able to come on, so which would be good. That's what I do want to touch on.
Oof. What's that? Oh,
look at that.
So if you haven't got one, jump on pbathleteclothing.com, get yourself an Eskimo headband. These are going to be super limited edition. There's not going to be a lot of merch coming out for the Eskimos anymore. So jump on that and get amongst it. They are they are the proper. Upside down.
Made by KM. So
they are the proper. They are the fresh. I'll be double strapping my push goggle with this bad boy. And I've missed double strapping. When I used to wear grills, I used to double strap me grills. And it's always a nice snug feeling. And I got out of the habit when I went to the i5s because you don't really need to with an i5. But yeah, I'll be double strapping the push. Jump on it, pbathleteclothing.com. Quick as delivery. I couldn't get over it. Yeah. Like it was
we are currently looking at 2.5 days is the standard.
To the East Coast.
Standard,
so we haven't tested the West Coast yet because someone is being too lazy to basically decide what extra gear he wants because he's getting a few t-shirts while he's at it. So.
Right, okay. Yep.
I'm going to make the postage worth its while. Like, we got to test it, but I also want to make sure it's worth its while.
Yeah. So it's generally about 2 to 2.5-ish working days. So
so it is crazy
pretty
quick.
Sweet.
So jump on it. Get your gear from PB Athlete for the freshest threads.
Those t-shirts are nice. I mean, that shit, they even made Kai look good, and we know how.
I know, they make Kai look good, which is good.
I'm actually pretty excited. I'm going to get my jumper back soon because winter's over.
Nice.
So
that'll be good.
I'll be able to get it back just in time for summer again. So it should be good.
That's all right.
On other things, guys, jump on the mind band. If you don't have a meditation practice and you're not looking after your head, you're doing yourself an injustice. One thing I found that when I started meditating, things got better and just get present. So use a mind band, use the code, it's in the show notes, and everyone's happy. Anything else you want to add, boys?
No, we'll see you all again next week. We'll see. Not sure we'll get to the paintball field over here this week, being Father's Day. But if I can, I'll brag about it.
Yeah, fair enough. Yep.
I'm counting on it. Even if you just go out there and just look at it, at least
take photos.
Because it's more than 5Ks from your home. You can do that. So, which will be good.
Photos around the place.
Yep. All good. All right, boys. Thanks for coming on and having a chin wag. Everyone else, thanks for checking in the Eski Couch. Jump on all the W's, buymeacoffee.com/Eski Couch. Just show us some love and help us out with keeping the show going. We're all done and dusted.
See you all next week.
Done. See you next week.
Powering off.